Hi, I'm Lana,
And I'm Sara.
and thank you for joining our podcast today. We're super excited. I'm super excited. This is totally going to get me out of my comfort zone. Sara's going to introduce our guest for today, and I hope you find it really, really important information, but also someplace fun to go. So, Sara, who do we have?
Yeah, so I'm really excited today to bring in a little bit of the North Quad and a little bit of home. This is Brianna Drohan, and she is from Launch Space in Orange and also Launch Space coming soon in Athol, which is really exciting. It's a creative maker space, not only for children, but for adults. And we have a bazillion questions.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
Bazillion. So first, if you give us a little background about you.
Yeah. So about me, I grew up in the North Quabbin. I was born and raised in Wendell, and then went to Mahar, and then to GCC, and then to UMass. Kind of kept my schooling in the region, and then once I graduated from UMass, I left and bounced between New York and Miami, and then moved back here. I was an event planner, so I was kind of building the skill sets for a life of putting out fires. And then I moved back here, and I was only going to be here for a year. Took a 30-year-old gap year, and then never left.
Wow. Great. Great.
Yeah, I really, I love Western Mass. It's such an amazing place to live. There's so much to offer. I feel like I was trying to find something similar outside of Western Mass, and I never really found it, so I ended up back here. And in the U.S. I found it in other countries. But
Talk about Launch Space. Tell me about it. A little overhaul.
Sure. So it's located, so our makerspace is located in the Orange Innovation Center in Orange. And it kind of came around when I was working for the Orange Innovation Center for the owner. And there was this large vacant space, and I really wanted to figure out something that had ripple community benefit. And so I saw this example when I was meeting a friend in Columbus, Ohio, and I toured a building that had some similar architecture, and I really just wanted to see how they got the funding to redo their windows. But when I went inside, there was like a restaurant, and there was these independent artist studios. There was an event space where there was like the runway show happening with one of the businesses that were there.
Wow.
And it was just like, and they had a small maker space, and it was just this really amazing community and economic driver in this old mill building. And then I was talking with the founder outside, and he was pointing to this row of vacant storefronts, and 3 of them were occupied. And he was like, all 3 of those businesses came out of here. And like this light bulb went off because we have empty storefronts in our region, and this empty space. We have the Orange Innovation Center, which has the small businesses, has the food, and what's missing is the maker space. And I was like, oh, this is this great nexus that we could think about, and came back with that idea. And
So you created Launch Space.
I co-founded it. Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So from the ground up, you created this. And so what is it that people would find going there? What is there for them to come? Like, why would I go there?
Yeah, there's a lot. We tried over the years. We founded in 2017 and raised money, and then there was a pandemic, and then we actually opened in 2021.
Yes.
And since there have grown quite a bit. Originally, we were really focused on adult entrepreneurships, a community space for the talent that we have in the region, coming and sharing it together intergenerationally. And then over the past couple years, we've really built up our programming. We read a lot of needs assessments. We connected with community members. We talked with our partners as we built our partnership network. And then kind of developed some programs that really filled gaps that we saw. So we have our general membership, and I like to explain it for people who don't know what a makerspace is like it's a gym for artists or creatives, where you get a membership, you come in, you learn how to use the equipment you're interested in, and then you can come in and use it whenever you want and take classes. We have general community classes that are free, or they have a cost.
Yeah,
Like
I'm going to put a pause on this right now. Because
Yes.
the first,
Sorry.
no, that's okay.
I will talk fast.
The first time I toured the space, I was in the Athol Orange Rotary Club, and they were looking for donors and organizations to help fund it. And it was so cool. Someone had come in and donated a ton of carpentry woodworking materials.
Okay.
And so we go up in this space and there's all these things that you would see in like a high school wood shop.
Oh, right.
And
Yeah.
so one of the premises that was explained to us was it's like, this is where adults can come and learn to be creative again. And now it's morphed into something that's just so collaborative and beautiful for the community, because not only are they helping adults learn things like how to sew, soon to be how to cook the right way, or, how to woodwork or how to 3D print or how to do different artistic skills, but they've also brought it in and you're helping youth, which is creating this beautiful sense of community, I think.
Yeah.
So let's get this concept down.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
So I do not know how to sew. So I call up and I book a time. There's like slots. And then I go in there and you're going to teach me how to sew something like a skirt.
Yeah, so there's a couple different ways to get the training. So I'll kind of for the makerspace, I'll kind of lay out the physical land. So we have multiple different studios. So we have fiber art, which is like your sewing machines, commercial embroidery machines, sergers. We have jewelry. We have stained glass. We have a loom, like a large floor loom. We have leatherworking. We have mixed media, like screen printing and acrylics and painting.
Wait a minute. This has got to be a huge space.
It's about 13,000 square feet.
And are they little rooms or it's just?
No, it's all, so it's broken down into
like
5
little vignettes.
rooms. Yeah.
Okay.
And so that's like the art and design room. And then we have a robotics and IT room that has electronics, laser cutting, engraving, 3D printing, photography, and like an event space. Then we have a pottery studio, which has 10 wheels or 13 wheels actually. We have 3 kilns and a hand building studio. And then we have a 2,000 square foot fully equipped wood shop. And then we have a metalsmithing studio, which has, we do metal stamping, we do casting, and then eventually that studio will be silversmithing and glass blowing.
What is the number one
thing that pulls people in?
Yeah, what is it?
Pottery.
Yeah. And that's been the thing I've been driving to do. And
Pottery.
It's great because now my daughter's 13, so she's old enough to take the class. And it's like 6 or 8 weeks, and someone goes and they teach you how to spin pottery on a wheel, and then you can bake it. And
Yep. And we have scholarships. So we have a scholarship fund. So anybody can apply and get up to 100% off a class. So some of our classes, like an 8-week pottery or a 10-week woodworking, can be upwards of $300 to $1,000. And so we want to make sure part of our main mission is just breaking down the walls and barriers and gaining access for people to connect over being creative, working with their hands, which this region does, generations, and be able to be proud of things that they're making, whether it's functional or just artistic.
So do you find more of a younger crowd, an older crowd of adults?
It's a mix. So we're very down the middle. When we look at our annual statistics, we're about 55% female for our adult members, between 30 and 70, and 45 male, same age range. But then, getting into our programming, we're in our 3rd year of our Creative Sector Pathway program, which we developed when we were reading some needs assessments about the needs for youth, connection, isolation, being unsuccessful into the traditional classroom. And so we created a Creative Sector Pathway program that's 13 to 24-year-olds. And it's really about the creative experiences semester. They have a semester of creative experiences where they go around to the different studios and learn different techniques while also being trained by our entrepreneur partner, Greenfield Community College, and then they go into an apprenticeship.
It's like going to the trade school.
Yeah.
When you go to trade, you get to try all the different trades. So the kids have the ability to fine tune, like, I don't like painting, but I love metal.
Yeah.
Or I love, building with woodwork versus something else.
But also for adults like you and me that are drivers and we work and we work and we work and we've lost that creative output.
Yeah.
It's a way for you to get back in and figure out those aspects that you lost in middle school and elementary school. It's where you can go and learn to be creative again and know it's okay because you're around people that are telling you that too. And so one of the things I love about it is when you buy this membership, you can go, I mean, it used to be you could go there 24 hours a day and use the machines. So if you work a night shift and you want to go in the morning and work on your woodworking, you can go and do that, right?
Yep. Yeah. So we
amazing.
have our regular hours, and then you can get an off-hour membership and get trained in a different way so that you can be there. Because a lot of artists are most creative in the middle of the night, and so
Oh my
we
goodness.
really want it to we've been fine-tuning how to meet the community with where they are and what they need.
And what's the purpose of expanding? So you said now you're going to open another. Is it just going to be kind of like identical to that, or because the demand is so high that you need another space?
We have this makerspace in the Orange Innovation Center. It's on the third floor. It's all open format. It's all a collaborative space. We don't have independent studios for that next level of a business scaling up and needing
Because you're
more
there
space.
already.
Yeah.
Because you've been in business, you've been open, people are advancing on their levels.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So the elementary school is it's perfect layout when we were kind of thinking about our next level of expansion. The pandemic, of course, made it so things are not as aligned as we thought they would be. So the school is about 24,000 square feet, and that will have, right now we have a community garden that's active over there. And we're working on the first phase of that renovation, that building renovation, which will be a shared use commercial kitchen. And that'll have 3 programs coming out of it. It'll have like adult food business incubation, youth workforce, food service workforce development, and then food access programs.
So those are like really too high-tech verbiage for me. So Sara, break down what you think this is, because you shared that with me earlier about the people coming in that have specialties like salsa and stuff like that.
So I'm not as familiar with the Fitchburg, Leominster area like you are, but in Greenfield, there's a food service incubator space where if people want to make, like they make an amazing salsa, but they don't know how to start their own business,
right,
or sauces or small food setups, they can go to this kitchen space in Greenfield and use the business tools that are already there and the kitchen space that's already there to make their product. And then they can move on down the road and start another business somewhere else. And so this is going to be critical for the North Quabbin region because it's a way for people to get started in a food sector, but not have to pay for a full commercial size kitchen.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's
huge.
really expensive. So right now, in Athol alone, I think there's like maybe over 100 cottage industries, meaning people making food in their homes. Which is limited. You can't do a lot of things. It means they're only allowed to sell at farmers markets. They can't sell to something like Quabbin Harvest.
Yes.
And so this kitchen allows us to deal with all the red tape, and they just purchase a membership. Again, breaking down barriers. And so someone can come in, the potential members that we see right now as we're doing tours are really caterers, food trucks, some people doing value-added products. But it is like the long-term vision is localizing our food systems more.
Yes. So think about this like craze of sourdough bread, and everybody wants sourdough bread. Someone who's good at it and can do it at home can now buy a membership and go in and be able to not mass produce, but produce on a higher level for their local economy. And either be able to sell it to local stores or co-ops or do a bigger expansion at farmers markets and things like that.
Or if they already have like their little hometown, I'm thinking of like, this place that does do breads, but maybe this person wants to expand on try something out. So if they have a kitchen that offers that other thing that they can't do at home, they can make it and not feel like, well, what if it's a bust, right? But they have the ability to go try it. Because you can only do so much in your kitchen, right? I mean, at one time.
It serves as a test kitchen in that way. And then it's, doing this type of renovation to your home is very costly. And 5 years down the road, you might not want to be doing that business anymore. Now you've made this investment that you're kind of stuck with instead of, leveraging a community asset like a shared use kitchen. And ideally, it's going to attract food trucks and attract caterers outside of the region to bring food diversity also to this area and bring events and,
Yes.
economic development in general out. There's that internal economic development of people having a business here, but then there's bringing in tourism and different types of food and events and things.
So you were talking about individuals coming in there. Do you also have like group parties and things like that that people can do and come in and have like a girls' night or, a family event or something like that?
Yeah, so the programs there's the three main programs with the food business, the youth workforce development that'll support the food businesses and the food access program. There'll be, private parties. So either one of the chefs in the kitchen or someone can bring in a chef to use. There's an event space on site and there's actually an outdoor space as well that can be tented. And then we'll do kids camps, so healthy
cool.
cooking kids camps.
That's cool.
There'll be adult cooking nights, so like once a month we'll do like an adult kind of date night type
I've
of
done
thing.
that.
Yeah,
Fun.
yeah, exactly. Like that's something that people were really interested in, and then just general rentals, so people can use the space and have an event space in Athol.
Which is super needed
Yeah.
because we don't have in the North Quabbin like a hotel that has a conference center to be able to have different community events.
Mhm.
And so I think for all of the years that I served on different local boards, when we wanted to have big events or fundraisers, it was always a challenge to find spaces. So this is going to be phenomenal for the area.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and then so that's like the kitchen. The full building is once it's fully renovated, which is a huge price tag, and so we're breaking it down into phases. Being a small organization will be business incubation. So there'll be a gallery store for selling products that are made on site. There'll be childcare because that was a big barrier that we were hearing about. So we'll partner with a childcare. We have spaces for 3 different age groups, and then the classrooms, which all have sinks. They're all like really the structure of the building's really great. So just bringing it up to code. Will be business incubation suites with the idea that people are scaling up a business in the maker space, or they have a space out in the community that they're looking to expand or change, and then they can come into and have an independent space in the school. So it's more of our accelerator, and the maker space really serves as an incubator.
What are the challenges that you're running into with funding?
um, we're programmatically we're seeing funders fund at only 50 or 60% of what we've been able to secure in the years past. Um, Thankfully, we're not heavily reliant on federal funding. I know some of our partner organizations are dealing with that rocky road. But it's just that funders and foundations are just holding the purse strings a lot tighter.
Yeah.
They're not allowing some vital line items like overhead and admin
Yes.
or facility use or memberships, which we build into our program so students can use the space independently outside of the program. That's a big piece of it is agency, developing agency in youth. And that's the biggest thing is people are just, getting into the details a lot more of what they're funding and pushing back on some things that they didn't used to. And it's making us need to diversify our streams, which we've always had as a longer term
You're
plan.
phenomenal at that.
It's just like
I think they're so lucky
accelerating
to
it.
have you because
Yeah.
you're such a beautiful grant writer
Yeah.
and able to bring funds to the area.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. It's all about relationship building. It's all about that relationship building. And, but luckily, we're opening this kitchen and our long range plan is to have the accelerator building be our earned income generator, which supports our makerspace being lower cost and better, easier to access for the entry level.
One of the things that Lana and I have to deal with all the time in real estate is what you said, bringing things up to code, and how in Massachusetts specifically that's gotten so challenging, especially when you're trying to take an older building and bring it up to the standards of what our state and our communities require. And so even though you might have acquired this building with the help from the town of Athol, there's still a tremendous amount that has to go into that.
Yes.
So what are some of the challenges with the building space that you've run into?
So, one of the 2 big things are, one is that the plumbing it's all cracked. And so we didn't think we were going to have to redo all the plumbing. But then when we got in there and started testing it, we found out there's cracks throughout. So that's a big huge cost. And the other one is the fire suppression.
Oh,
Because there's 2 egresses in every room. The school had never had fire suppression as an elementary school, but now because of these code changes, we were wanting to, but not immediately. We wanted to get some revenue in to support it. And I think the other thing is the code changes. We started this project in 2018. We went through a pandemic. Ventilation codes changed since then, so the price went up. Stretch codes changed since then, the price went up. So it's like every time we think we've raised the money, things change, and we have
and
to
then
raise
you add
more
on the
money.
material costs that changed in 2020,
Yep.
2021.
Yes. And then
And
again
now
this
you have
year.
to factor in the tariffs.
Yeah. We thought we had the funding secured in May, and we went out to public bid, and the bids all came in back over because they are building in their own concessions over what's happening and so volatile. So now, over the past few months, we're working with local organizations to secure the last mile funding. Fingers crossed that'll happen in the next couple of weeks, so we can get under construction in September for an April opening.
wow.
Yeah.
What are some of the other partnerships that you've built with other community organizations?
We have, I think that's one of our really big strengths is our ecosystem of partnerships. The Orange Innovation Center is a huge funding. Orange Innovation Center and the town of Athol are huge partners as far as support with the facilities. And then kind of our education partners, the New View Communities, GCC.
Nice.
We like our funding partners are United Ways and community foundations. We have state funders that really support us. Mass Cultural Council is a huge stakeholder in our organization. And then, as far as our programming, Workers Credit Union comes in and teaches personal financial literacy. We have the Literacy Project that helps out with people who need high test training. And we have CHD for mental health, like our programming, we really do it in a holistic way where we have wraparound services, a network of wraparound service partners. So if someone is food insecure, we can work with Crop and Harvest, or if someone is, needs, they're unhoused, we can work with CHD or the community action, or, it's like we really try to, again, I keep saying it, but we're just trying to like break down barriers so once people are in the classroom, they're ready to learn.
I feel like when I'm speaking with you, thinking of like clients moving into the area, right, in real estate, I feel like you're a huge resource just to go to find out more about the community, but also a resource for people that of needs, wants, or fun stuff.
Okay, this is totally off topic, but you just gave me the most brilliant idea, because when people relocate from out of an area into a new community, they want to build those relationships. They want to find out more about those relationships. So I want to have a separate conversation with you about partnering with maybe every property we sell. We can do like a membership for the people that move to the area.
Yeah.
That would be huge. I know
It's
it's
got
totally off.
goosebumps.
It's not totally off.
This
This
is
is not
like
totally
so
off.
exciting to me.
It is. This is what I'm saying is
Yeah.
when people come in the area, I think about all the times they're trying to, my business motto is lifestyle. So it's not about the house, like the ranch. I'm just like, what do you do? Like, what is your lifestyle? Are you outdoors? You're not. Do you need cafes? Do you like science? Like, whatever the case is, I'm totally trying to find avenues for resource for them, because once they sign and they get in their house, they're kind of like, meandering.
Well, think about all the community boards where people go on Facebook and they're like, I'm moving to Orange in 2 weeks. I'm moving to Leominster in 2 weeks.
Yep.
What's there to do? How do I get to know people?
Yeah.
Are there mom groups? Are there kid groups?
Yep.
So this is a great avenue outside the school system.
Right.
And I just think it's so important when we think about the economy that you're making it open to everybody. You're making and creating a space where everyone can feel welcome.
Yeah.
Whether you're a child or an adult, because adults need this now too, so much.
The intergenerational connection is also very intentional, where we have, youth working with mentors in an adult space and working on projects together and building relationships, and then connecting with each other outside in the community too, when they're like seeing each other, in their social lives. And like, that's like the essence of community development is that connection outside of the walls of the space. But we've had people move to the area and tell them we were a factor because they moved from a community with a makerspace. and not.
Is it
I
in
love our community.
Massachusetts or outside the
Someone
area?
moved. It was south. It was like Virginia or something that they moved
Very
from.
interesting because, and what
Yeah.
did you call the space again? I'm sorry. A maker?
Maker
Yeah,
space.
makerspace.
A maker
Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
So my 3 older children all went to school where Brianna had graduated from Mahar, and their absolute favorite teacher ran a makerspace. And my son actually built a boat in his makerspace that him and 3 other boys sailed across Lake Mattawa.
Oh, really?
I mean, how
That's
great is
so
that? In
cool.
just this big open space,
Yeah.
they were able to do that, and they made the sail from scratch, and they built this boat with
Wow.
these things. And my 2 daughters did it too. And it's, I think, just a really great way when you look at how schooling has changed. They don't have as many shop time classes. Some of the arts have been taken away in schools. They don't teach home economics anymore.
I was going to say, what happened to
Yeah.
home economics?
Yeah.
I think that's how I learned from the little Betty Crocker thing,
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. The easy bake oven.
Easy bake oven.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the only place that I learned to sew was a T-shirt because I was
Yeah.
in there and I wasn't afraid of the sewing machine anymore. But
Arts
isn't
and
that
home ec-
amazing?
Yeah.
I feel like this is more than what you're talking about. I think if I went to it, I would understand how much more it is for people. Like I think about just my family alone. What a great Christmas present
Yeah.
it would be to give them a opportunity to go there.
We do a membership drive right before Christmas every
It's
year.
crazy.
Yeah.
So are there some specific events that you have coming up? Are there events like this, or do you just recommend people to find you on your website, or what's a good way for them to initially learn about you?
Yeah. I mean, before I talk about that, when we're talking about schools, we found ourselves partnering with schools to provide that supplemental
Oh yeah.
arts and STEAM. So we'll go to schools. We have a traveling raku kiln and pottery studio. We have a traveling metal studio. So we have a mobile maker space where we go to libraries, we go to schools.
So cool.
And it's like a part of bringing it out into the community for those who can't make it to us. We're out in Gardner at the VNA doing programming.
Wow.
We partner with Seven Hills, who comes to us and we go to them. And so it's so we have a social RX program too that we work with social service agencies. But I mean, to get involved, there's a lot of things. We do have at our community garden, September 19th, United Way of North Central Mass's Day of Caring. So we participate in that, and we usually do things outside. Like last year, we built a bridge for our trails that are at the school in Athol. This year, we're helping remediate invasives. But the best way is to go to our website, launchspace-orange.com. Because that kind of shows the breadth. So you can book your class, you can apply for a scholarship, you can read about our programs and apply for our programs. Right now, we're recruiting for our fall creative sector pathway cohorts. So we do it in cohorts of 10 to 15 students. So right now, we are recruiting for our 16 to 24 population for our Engage program, which is under the umbrella. So creative sector pathway program has Discover, which is after school ages 13 to 15. Engage, which is in and out of school 16 to 24. And then in 2026, we're launching our first cohort of our launch program, which is 18 plus, where they're actually running micro businesses in the makerspace. And so we're recruiting for all 3 right now, actually. Engage, the 16 to 24, starting in September. The 13 to 15-year-old, which is really focused on the North Central Mass. They're funded through United Way North Central Mass. Is starting in November. And then, like I said, Launch, who's funded through WIOA, so students get paid to be in the program. So Mass Hire is a big partner.
Yes.
Mass Hire and YouthWorks are big partners too. That starts in January. So, our funders for these programs, like I said, are state, but also like our Community Foundation of North Central Mass and United Way of North Central Mass are big supporters of our youth programming.
So
And mobile makerspace.
I know we'll put on the screen so people can have your connection and your website and whatnot. So you said there was going to be an event in December, membership. So,
Oh, yes.
so what do you do with the memberships?
Yeah. So every year there's this great regional, well, I guess it's North Quabbin event called Midnight Madness. which is really fun. It's a lot of businesses participate. You get discounted rates at the stores throughout the night. So we always have a membership drive on that day. So
Nice.
you can either come in person. We'll have student vendors vending the stuff that they've been making. We have some of our adult members vending, all launch space made things. And we do a membership drive. So you can either come in person or go online, and there's discounts throughout the night.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
But you could go onto the website and take a class anytime. You
Yeah.
could buy a membership, and it's for anybody to come. It doesn't matter what community you live in.
Right.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's open to everyone, which is so
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, exactly. And we, we try to make it economical for people. So we partner with Mass Cultural Council. They have a Card to Culture program. So if you have a WIC, EBT, or Connect Care card, you can get a free garden bed. You can get 50% off your membership. And then you have
Wow.
scholarships. So you can get 100% of your classes covered. So you can really access the space at low or no cost. And that's, again, a big part of our mission is to accessibility.
Yeah.
Really interesting. Really interesting and really exciting thoughts for real estate too, to bring the new people that come in the area some resource
We
for
have
community.
a wonderful community.
Yeah.
We have a very small staff. Our day-to-day operations are run by volunteers who have been with us since the beginning.
It's crazy.
They love who
Crazy.
we are, what we do, and that community of that level of stakeholder is growing and growing. And
Yeah.
so
And
people
they're so
come.
passionate about it.
Yeah,
Tom
yeah.
Zanini is one of my
Yes.
clients, and he
Yeah.
just goes on and on and on about the fact that as a retired teacher, this is filling and giving him a purpose,
Yeah.
on such a deep level, which is so beautiful when you
Mhm.
think about, our senior population too.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, we had a teacher come in who over the summer a couple of years ago and just he was just like wanted to do woodworking. So he took a class, he got a membership, and then he found out he really loved it. And it was during the pandemic, he was really not liking teaching. And so, or it was right after the pandemic. And so he left his teaching career and went to North Bennett Street School to do woodworking as a career in Boston.
What?
We helped him with that change in pathway, which I love.
Yeah.
It's like it's a space to explore yourself and what you want, whether it's personally or professionally.
I wonder what space would help me
Yeah.
in the creative arts. I wonder what it would bring for me. This was really, really helpful information.
Yeah,
Thank you
great.
so much for
I'm
being
happy
with
to
us.
be here.
Thank you, Sara, for bringing her on.
Of course. I think it's just such an interesting business model, and it creates community in such an innovative way that's what we need. We need that connection in our local communities and society right now. So
Yeah.
I'm grateful that
Isolation's
it's in
a
our.
huge thing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for listening, and I hope you found this really informative as well. But if you have any topics or different companies or businesses that you think that you would like us to explore, we'd love to have them on the show. Please subscribe. Find us on Spotify or anywhere else you listen to podcasts. You can find me, Lana Kopsel, at the Coldwell Banker office in Leominster. And Sara, where can they find you?
I'm with the hometown team at Real Broker in Athol, Massachusetts.
Great.
And we're just thankful that you're listening, and please subscribe. And remember that Lana and I are looking for recommendations for our new podcast name.
Yes. So we're going to be putting out some requests out there. Please think of a new name for us. And we'd love to hear from you so that we can choose.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much. And thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks.